Have you ever felt like you were being buried? I don't mean literally. I mean that feeling where the weight of the world is pressing down on you so hard that you can't breathe. You feel invisible. You feel like you are working, struggling, and fighting in the dark. And yet, no one sees you. No one claps for you. You are underground, covered in dirt, and you start to wonder if this is it. You start to wonder if you have been forgotten. I ask this because that is exactly what I felt when I started filming this creature. For 3 years, I visited the same patch of damp, rotting earth. To the rest of the world, it was just a patch of dirt. People walked over it, they ignored it, but I knew that inches below their boots, a silent, lonely war was being fought. If you dug down into that soil, you wouldn't find a beautiful creature. You would find this, a white, C-shaped larva. It is soft, it is vulnerable. To be honest, it is repulsive. It lives in absolute darkness. It eats rotting wood and decaying matter. It spends its days in the mud. When I looked at it, I didn't see a warrior. I saw a prisoner. For 3 long years, this creature exists in a state of suspended animation. It doesn't travel, it doesn't see the sun, it doesn't know what the moon looks like. It just exists. I found myself projecting my own insecurities onto this grub. I thought about the times in my life when I was working on a dream that wasn't showing any results. You know that phase. The grind, the late nights, the empty bank account, the rejection letters. You are putting in the work. You are eating the dirt of life, but there is no glory. You feel like you are moving in slow motion while the rest of the world speeds by. I wondered, does this larva know what it is destined to become? Or does it think it is just a worm? Does it think that the darkness is all there is? 3 years is a lifetime for an insect. Most insects live and die in a few weeks, but this one waits. It waits through the freezing winter, it waits through the scorching summer. It grows, sheds its skin, and grows again, always in the dark. It is a masterclass in patience. It taught me that just because you are not visible, it doesn't mean you are not growing. Just because you are underground, it doesn't mean you are dead. You are not being buried, you are being planted. And then the waiting ends, but the struggle does not. The larva builds a chamber for itself. It packs the soil and its own waste into a hard oval room, a tomb. It seals itself inside. It stops eating, it stops moving. This is the moment of crisis. In the silence of that tomb, the grub's skin splits open, and what emerges is shocking. It looks like an alien. It is orange, soft, and terrifyingly strange. You can see the outline of a horn, but it is rubbery and weak. It twitches in the dark. This is the pupal stage. This is the most dangerous time of its life. It has shed the only skin it ever knew, but its new armor hasn't hardened yet. It is completely defenseless. If a mole or a centipede found it now, it would be over. It reminded me of those transition points in our human lives. The moment you quit your job to start a business. The moment you leave a toxic relationship. The moment you move to a new city where you know no one. You have left the old, safe version of yourself behind, but the new version hasn't formed yet. You feel naked. You feel soft. You are terrified. But look closely at the screen. Look at the subtle pulses of its body. It isn't sleeping. It is forging iron. Inside that soft orange shell, chemistry is performing a miracle. It is taking the raw materials of that soft white grub and turning them into organic steel. It is building hydraulics for legs that can lift 850 times their own body weight. It is constructing wings that can fold like origami. It is sharpening a horn that will become a weapon of war. This takes time. It cannot be rushed. If you broke open the chamber now to free it, it would die. It needs the pressure. It needs the isolation. It needs the darkness to harden its soul. Weeks pass. The orange skin darkens. It turns a deep, rich red. Then it turns into the color of midnight. The armor is set. The tank is built. But there's one final test. It is still underground. It is still buried under feet of compacted soil. It has the armor, it has the strength, but it is still in the dungeon. It has to dig its way out. I watched the earth move. It wasn't a gentle emergence, it was a violent upheaval. The beetle, now a rhinoceros beetle, used its head like a battering ram. It clawed at the ceiling of its world. It pushed against gravity. It pushed against the weight of the earth that had held it down for 3 years. I imagine the exhaustion. I imagine the desire to just stay down there. That the call of the sky is too strong. And then, the breakthrough. The soil crumbled. A black, shiny helmet broke the surface. For the first time in its entire existence, it felt the cool night air. It saw the moonlight. It pulled itself up onto a log, shaking off the dirt of its past. I was breathless. The transformation was absolute. The soft, white, vulnerable worm was Braun. Standing before me was a gladiator, a king clad in obsidian armor. It was magnificent. It was terrifying. It was beautiful. It stood there for a moment, letting the oxygen fill its new system. It opened its hard shell, the elytra, with a mechanical hiss. Underneath, delicate, transparent wings unfolded. And then, with a sound like a miniature helicopter, it took flight. It lifted its heavy body into the air, defying gravity, flying toward the light. Watching it soar over the treetops, I realized the cost of its journey. The 3 years in the mud, the loneliness, the terrifying vulnerability of the transformation, the exhausting dig to the surface. It was a high price to pay, but looking at it now, ruling the night sky, I knew it was worth every second. This beetle taught me that there is no shortcut to greatness. If you want the armor, you have to endure the forge. If you want to fly, you have to survive the burial. So if you are currently in your own dark phase, if you feel like you are working hard and no one sees you, if you feel like the weight of the world is crushing you, please remember the rhinoceros beetle. You are not being punished. You are being prepared. Your isolation is your workshop. Your struggle is your strength training. Keep digging. Keep growing in the dark. Because when you finally break through that surface, when you finally reveal who you have become, the world won't be able to take its eyes off you. Your flight is coming.